we're back. Hi everyone, and welcome to a new video. I don't even know how to make this intro. I used to do YouTube a really long time ago. I used to be, you know, what's up you guys? Hey everybody. Like, I had it down. Now I just feel like I'm too nervous. I don't know what's happening. And yeah, this is the first video of the brand and we're gonna see how it goes. So bear with me. My name is Natalia, or I go by Nat. For those people who cannot pronounce my name correctly, because my name is not Natalie. So I go by Nat now. And I am the owner of La Paisa, which is an upcycling clothing brand. It is focused on streetwear that is size inclusive and us not giving up on our style, but also embracing sustainability. I'm gonna tell you about the brand today. This is very new to me. I feel like I don't know who's gonna see this video. I'm a little bit nervous because I haven't done this in a very long time. Today I have, I think, about 10 questions about the brand, questions that have been asked a lot. Hopefully I don't bore you to death. So let's start with the questions and then we'll just dive right into it. Why clothing? I used to have a lash brand a while ago. For those who have been following me since the lash brand, you're OGs. Thank you for sticking along with me. I am obsessed with makeup. I love makeup. I love wigs. I love fashion. I love everything that has to do with expressing yourself. I used to do weight, and this is gonna get like a little bit deep, so hang along for the ride. I used to weigh around 270 pounds. I deal with something called PCOS, and I talk about it on my private platforms. Not private, but like my personal platform, not like the brand's platform. It deals a lot with like body weight and just like things that happen. If you dive into it or if you have it, you can relate, you'll understand. I went through a big change in my life and dropped around 100 pounds, which is a great thing. I did it for health reasons, but fashion has always been such a huge thing in my life. During that time, and it was also during COVID time, I had this lash brands that I was just trying to understand how to better package things. As a graphic designer, I was just trying to like do some research, learn about it. The brand did well. However, it wasn't something that I was completely obsessed with. And then after a giant life change, the lash brand was not fulfilling me as much as a clothing brand would. And I always dreamed about having my own clothing brand, but I always struggled with clothes because being a bigger girl, going into stores is hard and depressing. I was always in the dressing room with my friends and I would be the only one who was not able to try a lot of clothes because there weren't a lot of options for me and the clothing style that I like. I like streetwear. I like sometimes dressing like Adam Sandler's because that's a vibe. And then sometimes I want to dress like I'm going to the Met Gala. And then sometimes I want to just dress in sweats from head to toe and look like I have nowhere to go. And that's a total vibe for me. I love streetwear. I love that streetwear stands for just your personality and expressing yourself and just being out there in your best way possible and just doing whatever you want to do. There's just no code to it. It's just that. And I'm very passionate about it. The lash business was just kind of like not something that I was super passionate about, and clothing was not loving me back. Once I dropped the weight and I had all this gigantic closet that I was like, what am I gonna do with all of this? I spent so much time and money on this. Curating a closet that was so hard to find was very difficult because there were a lot of pieces that I did love. And I have a background in sewing. My grandma taught me how to sew when I was very young. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to take all my clothes and I'm just going to make my dream closet. I literally went to my Pinterest board and I grabbed all the images of things that inspired me, things that I wanted to wear eventually. I would put on my Pinterest board and I said, this is my one chance. This is like my starting point. This is a refresh point where I'm going to wear what I love. And if I don't love it, I will not put it on my body. So I started grabbing pieces from my clothes and just like, I always wanted to do like denim on denim. So I would stack like two on top of each other. Then I started sewing it and I started making all these pieces. And people started looking at me being like, where'd you get that? 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 Because I was doing my dream closet and something that I completely love, and people started seeing how happy it made me, but also something that they would want to wear. I was like, this is it. This is exactly the moment that I'm supposed to be taking advantage of this. This is exactly the time where I'm supposed to be doing a clothing brand. But the fact that I was expressing myself in the only way that I could fit. So I would do it in wigs because my head is just as big as it is. And shoes. I have a gigantic shoe collection because my feet were the only thing that could fit absolutely anything. But I think that's where it all started. It started out of the love of something that was missing in my life, which was streetwear and things that I actually wanted to wear and I couldn't find anywhere, or it was very particular to find, or it was extremely expensive. So I started sewing it. I started putting it all together and I was like, you know what, this is where it's going to start. I have always had a love for fashion, but I knew that I wanted to do something in clothing that my bigger self and my smaller self could wear. So that also brought the point of size inclusivity. Okay, maybe this is why I need a camera, because my phone ran out of space. I was saying that I've never had the guts to do it. And then after that, I lost the track of time. So anyway, that's why I chose clothing. And I'm gonna try to talk a little faster so that my phone doesn't run out of space. Next, what's my brand story? My brand story is basically the dream closet that I always dreamed of. I'm bringing it to reality while also embracing sustainability. So I'm doing upcycling for high-end streetwear, and I also divided it into different tiers because I feel like putting it all into one is kind of not fair. There's crazy things that I want to work on. There are a little bit more like couture and they're very like unique, and every single piece is going to be unique because they can't be duplicates. Like every single one is a one-off. There are things that are going to be a little bit more affordable than others. So if there's something completely insane, and depending on how much time it took me, it's going to be higher end. And then you get into like the ready to wear, which is mostly what I do. And then you get into like the accessories, but then I also want to get into like thrifted finds that are just as is, but they're streetwear curated. I want to be able to create the closet that I always dreamed of in a size inclusive space, but also very targeted towards streetwear. The brand story is pretty much like, we're focusing on sustainability, we're focusing on uniqueness, one of a kind pieces at all times, dividing it into those different tiers. When did I start my business? I started my business in December of 2023. I just started it. I don't even think that I had like my licenses yet until after a little bit. I think it was like after a month or two, because I was like, okay, I've already done this where I got all the licenses and I did all these massive things, and I wasn't sure if it was going to work out. But then after I saw the success on it and how it popped off, I was like, whoa, there might be something here. So currently we're at like the 6-month mark. I've already done a sneaker con. I've already done 1 farmer's market. I have 2 farmer's markets to go. The first 2 collaborations that I've put out have sold out completely. And then I have one really special thing that I don't know if I'm allowed to announce yet, but it's happening in August. So please stay tuned because I think it's going to be huge and I'm going to be posting more about it. And I actually want to use like the YouTube channel and other platforms to showcase the process of it. And then there's some other projects that I have in the works, not only with like this brand, but actually a different brand. So there's a couple things that are coming up. When did I decide to become a business owner? I've always wanted to have my own brand. I always wanted to do something for myself. I always wanted to do things outside of my regular like job. I still have a full-time 9 to 5 and I love it. I love what I do. It fuels me. However, it's not my creative outlet. I'm a person who needs to have a creative outlet where I get to say whatever I want to say and I get to do whatever I want to do, and I don't have all these stakeholders that are stopping me from doing the things that I want to do. That way, when I'm at my actual job and I get blockers, I'm like, you know what, it's not that big of a deal. I still get to do whatever I want in my hobby or in my side hustle or whatever I want to call it. I am happy at the current situation where I'm at, where I still have my full-time job and I get a lot of learnings from it, and I learn from my teammates and I learn from the people that I work with, but I still have my creative outlet on the side. So what was my mission to start my company? I think my mission was for me to fulfill the dream that I always wanted, which was create my dream closet for myself as a person who was looking for a unique way to showcase her love for fashion and her style for fashion. One of the words that I get called out a lot is crazy. And I know that probably people either mean it in a good way, a bad way, malicious, not malicious, whatever. I just know that I'm very different and I'm okay with being different. I think I've come to, after your 30s, you just kind of start giving up about what, like, you don't care what people think. You really just don't care. And I've come to the conclusion that if I am in the cookie cutter lane, I'm sad and I don't want to be there. Whenever I put myself out there and I wear whatever I want to wear and I wear whatever makes me happy, I'm actually really happy and I want to keep doing that. I don't want to fit in. I want to stand out. That's what makes me happy. That's what I wanted to start my company for the bigger me, the little me, the every stage of me, because there's probably people out there who are feeling just like I am. And if I want to wear double denim, then there might be a couple folks who want to wear double denim too. So they get the chance to do it. And also to create a size inclusive brand, and to also be sustainable and just kind of help the environment. There's enough clothes out there. I used to be a really hardcore shopper. Like if you would have seen me a year ago, I'm a hardcore shopper and I still have love for these brands, but I feel like there's a way for me to tone that way down and for me to create things with stuff that is already out there. So what are my company's goals? I would love to collaborate with big brands. I would love to take whatever they consider garbage and turn it into new garments. I would love to dress people who I look up to. Like, and I'm gonna say it in this video because you never know if it might happen. You never know if, you know, if it could happen one day. So I would love to dress a Carol G. She's like #1 in my list. I would love to dress a Carol G, an Emma Chamberlain, Becky G. Billie Eilish is a huge one. Oh my gosh, actually Billie Eilish and Carol G are on the top of my list. I would love to dress them. A Bad Bunny, a J Balvin, a Maluma, a Shakira. Like I would love to dress people who are from my country because I'm from Medellin. That's where I was born. I was there until I was 14. There's so many things that I want to do, but like my goals would be to be able to collaborate with giant brands, to be able to create really cool like collections and clothes, and just kind of have people feeling the way that I felt whenever I started wearing my dream closet. There's that. But I would really like to like dress some of these people and have them be sustainable yet cool, have like one of a kind and like rocking it. I would love to see that. I don't know, because those are my goals right now. I don't know, I just started. And then I have 2 questions that I'm gonna take from an Instagram poll that I did. One of them is from Steph, and she's definitely an OG because she has been here since Montavo Lashes. And she asked, how did the brand name come about? And then she has like a second question, which I'll ask in a second. But how did the brand come about? I had been thinking about the name of the brand for a while. Like naming brands, I believe is one of the hardest things. Like I can think about like how the photography is going to look like, my color palette and all these things. And the name will be like one of the very last things that I can think about. The name La Paisa, and mostly with the way that the logo is laid out, and I'll put it like on the screen. La Paisa is, it could mean different things depending on the country that you're from. I'm from Colombia, I'm from Medellin. If you look at the country, there's different regions, there's different sections. If you're from the coast, you're a costeño. So my dad is a costeño, or a costeña, depending. My dad's costeño. If you're from Bogota, you're Rolo. If you're from Medellin, you're a Paisa. So it just kind of like goes into like the region. I know that for Mexicans, there's like a different meaning to it, which is kind of beautiful to hear what it means in like all these different like countries. But in Colombia, that's what it means. So all my cousins were from the coast, so they had a different accent than I did. And I will always be called cachaca or paisa. Oh, la paisa or la cachaca. Then I put the la in front of it because it's kind of putting like the, and I wanted to just make that statement of like the paisa, like the main queen, like paisa. But that's just, I don't know, I just thought it would be cool. And then when you look at the logo is not only cut in half, but also is split into 2 different sections, as in like 2 different styles of the fonts, to just explain it that way. And it's also cut in half because I was born in Colombia until I was 14. At 14, I moved into the States, and then I pretty much grew up here. So I've spent 18 years of my life in the US, and then I spent 14 years of my life in Colombia. You can do the math of how old I am. But that sort of explains that I'm not either from here or there. When I'm in Colombia, I'm way too American, and when I'm here, I'm way too brown. Either way, I'm making somebody uncomfortable. In Colombia, my Spanish just sounds funny, and then here I have an accent. So I don't fit anywhere. That's why I put like the logo that way, because it's just broken into 2. I'm not either from here nor there. And in Spanish, it's ni de aquí ni de allá. So I just kind of have that as like a little backstory to like the logo, and it just sort of explains it. And then she also asks, will you be coming out with other tapestry bags? The tapestry bags just flew off the shelves. And yes, I will be coming out with more tapestry bags. There's actually a launch that was supposed to go out in June, but because I had to move like physically, like from my apartment to a different place, Life just kind of went a little upside down, and so timelines right now are looking a little funny, but things are supposed to get better. So hopefully there's the launch and the leftovers from the farmers market that I haven't been able to put out, and then also a launch that I had prepared that now is just like, it's hard for me to see things slow down because it's really cool and I don't want it to go like in the back burner. Then the next question is by Kingdoms Glory, and he's also from Instagram. He sent me a lot of sweet messages. You're so kind. Thank you so much. You're one of the new followers. I see you, and I'm just so excited you're here. What inspires your passion to create clothing, to make the art that you make? Fashion for me is such a cool manner to like showcase my style, and I feel like it's a love language, which I don't think a lot of people see it like that. And that's where maybe like my craziness comes in, where you could just feel how somebody's feeling based on what they're wearing. And you could just kind of get people's vibe based on what they're wearing. And somebody like has their color painted, or like tattoos, or just like piercings or whatever. I just feel like you're telling something. You're telling a story with your clothes. So the inspiration for creating clothing is just sort of a vibe. Like I really like a unisex, like right now, my style language right now is just very much like tight and oversized put together, or oversized, or like super tightness because of how I'm feeling. Like if I'm feeling like, you know, like I want to be a little bit more oversized today because I'm just feeling like I want to put some pearls and I'm feeling like loose. I don't know. There's just a feeling, then I'll put that close together. Or if I'm thinking of movement, then I'll do something that just creates movement and how it's going to move on that body. Or if I see like a specific body type, or even myself when I was bigger, there would be things that I couldn't wear because they were just not suiting my body the way that I wanted to suit me. And even things now, there's things that I don't wear because I don't think that they look fantastic on me. So I'll try to just like move them up. And there's just like a love language with like the body and how it sits and how it moves. And like one of my favorite things is putting things on my husband and like dressing him, because I mean, I'm very attracted to my husband. Obviously, he's like the most handsome man in my eyes. And he has such a like football like player wide back and arms that I'm completely obsessed with. So whenever I design something for him, I'm like, oh, that looks hot. Like I love the oversized, I love this, I love that. And then when people give him compliments, I'm like, yeah, I did that. And it's just, it makes me happy. And then I have one of my best friends who literally could put on a garbage bag and she'll look fantastic because she's just like tall and lean, and she carries herself with such elegance that just makes such a difference, that whatever I put on her, it's her elegance that carries her through. And then it just gives off such a like different vibe. And both things, or like all three things, could be done with the same fabric, but it's the style that I put on it that just makes such a difference. I don't know. There's just like, it's like a love language. What inspires me to create clothing, I think, is just like people and colors and fabric and styles and just pretty much everything. I just live and breathe fashion. So yes. All right. I think that should have answered everything. I should have covered everything. Please drop a follow on here. Also on social media. I'm a small business. I just got started. I would love to chat with more people. I would love to see what you guys want to see in the future. It's going to be a journey. I don't know where this is going to go. I don't know where it's going to take me, but I'm just excited. I'm excited to have a different creative outlet, that it's not my regular 9 to 5, and that I can let my brain flow and just go and get crazy with it. And then I can just talk to creative people who want to hang out with me and just do all these things. I don't know where I'm going with this, but it's exciting. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope we get to chat. So go drop a follow in all platforms and here, and leave a comment with whatever it is or whatever other questions, and maybe we'll have a part 2 to this. So yeah, I'm excited. Welcome to my channel. Welcome to this video, and I'll see you guys when I see it. Bye.